What is going on, miners, and welcome back to the Hobbyist Miner channel. Ooh, stickers. There'll be a link down below. Anyways, guys, if you guys are joining me for the very first time and wondering kind of what's this whole crypto mining basement business about, I have been spending the last several months renovating my basement myself. It actually was entirely unfinished, so it just had this cinder block wall here, and that's really about it. With the cinder block slab, my kids drew all over it, and I've been renovating it. Giant pile of drywall here, so I've been doing it myself. I've gotten a little help from friends and family here and there, but it has taken a lot of my time. It's not something I've done full-time. I put in maybe 3 hours a week on it, as I do work full-time actually down here. So you'll notice there's stuff down here. My daughter's gymnastics bars down here, a whole pile of HVAC fans and tripods and electrical wire. But we've been renovating this basement over the last few months, and I wanted to give you guys an update on the basement, the airflow, and the mining room. So those of you guys new, this is going to be a living room area. There'll be like a fridge over there, and this will not be here. This is my computer setup. This is where I do editing from. This is where I chat with you guys on Discord. This is where I work from, right here. I don't do content creation full time, but this is where I work from right here. And so, you know, this area is temporary while I do all the work in this other room. So let's go around the corner here. So this wall's not done. This wall isn't done yet either. This is going to be like a giant closet type of setup. But this area in here, we got some bead strips done, corners done. We got the whole inside of this drywalled. This is actually going to have a barn door that's going to come across here. So this room here is going to be my office. Right now it is our mining room. So you can see I have all my rigs in here. I got my 3 580s with my 1 590, 1060s, 1080s, 3060, 2060, 1660, R9 380s, 470s, and 570s. So everything is in this room right now, because this room, yes, there's a doorway here. Look at this thing. This is ridiculous. I'll explain it in a second. In that room is actually my mining room that I've been working on like crazy to try to get all this stuff moved out of here and into there. So this is going to end up being my office. The desk is going to go across here. I'm actually going to get a brand new desk, get a butcher block from IKEA, and then do some mounts below it. And then on the flip side here, this right now is my makeshift workbench, but I will have an actual workbench set up in here with storage above it once it's all done, hence why the Ethernet port's up above here, as well as the electrical outlets right there. So I guess what we'll do is we'll open this up and show you guys what we have going on. So right now, this is a 1/2-inch insulation board. On top of that, there's actually plastic. You can see there's actually plastic right here and plastic right here to seal in that mining room. And then they're actually, I was going to try to show you, but I sealed this off. I could show you in another door frame in there. There is in this room and in the mining room, this 1/2-inch insulation around the whole room. So behind the drywall, 1/2-inch insulation before it hits the stud all the way through here. To give you guys an idea what we've been doing on the other side, you can see up above, it's all plastic. And I'll kind of show you guys what we're doing there with this temporary solution, as well as our finalized airflow. I am going to show you guys some pictures throughout talking about this, because a lot of stuff I've sealed up with some plastic temporarily in there, and I didn't want you guys to miss it. So I took a bunch of pictures along the way. So let me go ahead and get this removed, and we'll check back in 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so there you have it. That's actually with the board across and everything pulled away. Take a look down below. You see how the plastic's being sucked back in there? That's because of all of the exhaust that we have in that room right now. So let's go ahead and go in here. We kind of have to like push the plastic aside. I do have it taped a little bit higher here, but that's why I have that green board in place, because the green board's in place, and then I'm pulling this. Look at this, I gotta pull it all the way back and then hold it up against here, because the exhaust is sucking things out so much. So let's go in here. Okay. 82 in here. That's awesome. Let me go ahead and turn off our fans. We have 1 exhaust fan, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so we'll let these things kind of quiet down. So last time you guys checked out the basement, we had the Space Goats 240 volt 30 amp box installed. We have the AC Infinity monitor hooked up to our 240, and then this is plugging directly into an L630R. So we had that one done. Well, since then, this guy is done, ready for some rigs, and this is at L630R. And then on this side, we have another one ready to go. So our electrical is all set. We have 3 30 amp 240 volt. Each of these supports up to 7,200 watts. Safely, you can do 5,700. And the way that works is you need to do it safe, you need to use 80% of that circuit. So over here, we're at 4,600 watts, and this is a 30 amp, and we're using 19.5. So we can use another 1,000 watts, give or take, and then that's it. So we're already growing. So in this room, a lot has changed, even though to a regular eye, it may look normal. So all this blue tape that you guys see is just short-term and temporary. So let's go over it. So if you guys watched my last video, I'll put a link in the upper right-hand corner. I was doing AirFlow wrong, and I appreciate all you guys that reached out to me and helped me. There's a lot of really smart people in the mining community that are more than willing to help. So let's discuss it. So in here before, I had intake. I had my AC Infinity inline fans, and I'll put a link down below in the Hobbyist Miner parts store. I had inline fans coming in, going into a filter box, and then going through the fan, and then going down and coming out right here. And I had 2 of them. Well, since then, I've sealed it, well, fixed this. It'll get taken care of with mud and spackle. And my fans are now no longer intakes, but they're exhausts. And those got bumped up to here. 1 there, and 1 over there. So my 4-inch AC Infinities, which put out 210 CFM each, so that's 420 CFM, are now exhaust. Okay? Over here, and I'll throw up a picture, show you guys from a previous video, we have 2 6-inch AC Infinities, and those currently are exhaust. There's 1 here at waist height and 1 up here. Now, I used to, in my old video, had them coming together in a, so 2 and going together in a Y pipe. So they would go out through the fans, and then before it went outside, it would go into a Y splitter and go out 1 exhaust outlet. I got rid of that. They each have their own now. I literally have 8 total vents on the outside of my house going along, and I'll show you guys now. Look at this, I plastic covered everything with Scotch tape and electrical tape. I'll get into that in a minute. So on the outside of my house, I now have 8 total vents. 6 of them are exhaust, and 2 of them are intake. So you might be wondering, okay, 8, and we've only gone over 4 so far, right? So 4 total exhaust. Well, we added some more exhaust. So check that out. There's going to be a drop ceiling here, and all this plastic that you guys see is temporary. I need to get my mining equipment in here. Running AC is costing me way too much money. So I added another 6-inch, and there's going to be in a drop ceiling here. This actually suspended. I don't know if you can see it. There's little wires there I hooked in. Runs into another AC Infinity 6-inch, and that goes out. And look, there's one right above me here. I'll throw some more pictures up, guys. Before I covered everything in plastic. Here's another 6-inch, and that runs out here as well. So in total, we have 6 total exhaust fans. 4 of them are 6-inch, and 2 of them are 4-inch, because we already had them, so I wasn't going to get rid of them. So we just moved them up here, is the way that works. So in total, we are at 2,200 CFM between all my exhaust in this little room. which is pretty crazy. And this room here is 58 inches wide by, I think it's 120 inches long, and it's got 2200 CFM. Hence why when the fans are on, this is literally sucking the plastic back. And let's talk about intakes, because before we were doing intakes with trying to match exhaust and intake CFM. After talking with some smart people, we went straight to passive intakes. So that is a 6-inch passive intake. It starts here by the floor, goes up the wall, comes through here, and goes into this guy. And take a look at this. This is a filter box. It is fantastic. It's got a clip on each side, and I'll throw a picture up here. It has a filter in it that I will be using and cleaning a few times a year to catch pollen, dirt, bugs, all that stuff. It's awesome. I can't believe I found these. I'll put a link down below if you guys are interested. Check out the Hobbyist Miner parts store. So it comes through their box and goes out, and then goes outside to a vent. And then check it out. We have our other intake on the opposite side of the room, 6-inch, goes up the wall, pops out, goes into the box, and then goes outside. So these are purely passive. Now, the only thing I need to monitor once we really get into mining in this room is the filter in this box. Is it too restrictive? That is something that I need to look into, and if I need to build my own filter versus using these that are, because I think they're like inch. No, they're definitely an inch maybe filter, so they're pretty thick. So this room right here, I've been doing, I mean, I haven't had a video on it in maybe 5 to 6 weeks, because it's not an easy thing to do when this room is completely drywalled in, to redo things. It was a nightmare, and it took me weeks. Now granted, an hour here and there, but it took me a long time to get this back up and running the way I wanted it. And I think I'm in a really good spot now. I'm really happy I went with these. I mean, think about it. The heat's gonna come off my rigs and rise up, and then I got an exhaust right there, I got an exhaust here, an exhaust there, an exhaust there, and an exhaust here. So I think we'll do a pretty good job, is my goal. The big thing is to see how we do with these passive intakes, and we'll kind of go from there to see how things go. So what's next? So I need to finish the network in here. All the networking is getting done this next week. In this room, there's 24 network drops. My goal is to have no switches at all in this room that my rigs are plugged into. So they're gonna go into, this is gonna be a quad plate that's gonna sit here. I gotta get the RJ45 keystones in. And then all this Ethernet, you can actually see it. It's all up here. It wires actually right behind this wall. And once the room is spackled and sanded, and then it's painted, I am going to cut a hole and pull through. I have total 40 total Ethernet drops in my entire basement. I'm gonna pull them through. They're all labeled. They all got labels on them and everything like that. I'm gonna pull them through, and it's gonna go into I have a 12U network rack, mesh metal network rack that I'm gonna mount to the wall here. And that's why there's a power outlet right there in order to hook my UPS into. And then I'll have my switch and my modem in there as well. And I ran a home run from there all the way back to where the internet comes into my house, so that I'll have that, all my network equipment in my house right in this room here, which will be a lot of fun. So what else? Other than that, guys, my next step, literally after I'm done recording this video, is I am going to be moving my mining equipment into this room. This room is ready, at least, and the reason I rushed to get this done tonight, and I put up the plastic literally minutes before we got into this, was because the amount of money it's costing me to run my mining rigs in this other room over here is getting really expensive. Not only are we paying for almost 5,000 watts running all the time now, but I gotta get through this plastic. Let me through. Oh, by the way, if you guys are interested, this is how thick I had to cut through the house. This is a piece of the house. This is a 6-inch piece of wood. This was the outside of my house. I had to cut through. I used a jigsaw, actually, did a really good job with a demolition blade, and it did it really nicely. But anyways, this room right here, now I've had my AC on. I turned it off. It's at 88 right now. in the next, I'd say, hour, this room will get up to 97 degrees. And I have to run my AC over here as well. So think about it. We have 5,000 watts that we're running in the mining room all the time. And then this thing is running all the time as well. And the downside is like, it's costing me so much money to try to keep that cool. So I want to get all that mining equipment moved in to the mining room and allow that mining room to start to work for me, which will be awesome. And then I'm actually getting rid of that AC unit. I'm going to pull it out, and then I'm actually going to be running off of my home AC unit. One of my projects in the next 2 weeks is to run ducts off of it to cool this room, just normally like another room in my house, cool over here, and then I'm actually going to be running one right into my office here as well. So I am, in the next few minutes, going to go ahead and get everything moved out of here and into that mining room there, clear this room entirely out, and then this upcoming next few days I'm going to move my office into here, which will be awesome. So I'm really excited for that. Things will look great. I can start to utilize things a little bit more, but I have a lot of work to do in my basement still. Flooring, spackle, sanding, drop ceiling, lighting, because this is just temporary lighting that I threw into a light switch. Each of these rooms have a light switch now. The mining light switch, or mining room light switch, actually I put right here to make it easily accessible outside the room. But anyways, guys, that's a quick video. GPUrisers.com, go check them out. That is a quick video and update on the mining basement. I apologize if I flew through it, if I stuttered too many times or whatever, too many ums. I was just trying to remember everything I wanted to share with you guys. But other than that, guys, I think that's it for today. I'll get you guys an update in the next 2 weeks, let you know how this is working. I know you guys are going to want to see the equipment in there. Something I do plan on doing, this is my first big rig that I built. It's a 12 GPU rig. I want to get it off of this rack because I want to get all my rigs on these rolling racks here. They're so much easier to work with and move around. So I'm most likely going to take this rig in a future build, break it down, clean it, and then rebuild it entirely from the ground up into this rack here, which it's 12. So it's going to take up 2 racks total, kind of similar to like this guy. You see how like there's 6 here, and then this one's kind of scattered. So we're going to redo it a lot because, quick tangent, when the cards are up here and there's nothing above them, you can get 6 nice and easy. But when you have a motherboard that's blocking where you can put your GPU hangers, you're kind of limited to where you can put them because you don't want to put a GPU right underneath of the motherboard. So I need to come up with a clever solution in order to make sure that I can get 6 and 6 and whatnot. But anyways, guys, I'm rambling on now. Thank you guys very much for joining me for this crypto mining basement update. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Drop questions down below, comments down below. There's a lot of really smart people in our community, and you guys may have some tips that I'm not thinking of. Eventually, by the way, there'll be a door here. Eventually, there's gonna be a door. There'll be drop ceiling, and I might actually redo a bunch of this plastic before we put the drop ceiling up, in order to help seal things and keep the plastic in place up top and stuff, just to help seal the room off. Anyways, I'm done talking. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe. Take care.